don't know. I feel like we're so much inside of each other that
That
we
we take that kind of thing for granted. I'm telling you, I feel so official right now. In my stance, my posture's all like this.
yeah.
And my paperwork, my pen. I'm gonna be watching you. I will be taking notes. Now, go.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you about a dream that I had recently.
Okay.
It's if you really think about it, it's probably the scariest dream I've ever had,
Okay.
but I loved it and it was weird, and I wanna know if you've ever had a dream like this.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Alright, so I the other morning, my kid got up really early, and I was like, "Okay, Joey, can you watch her for a little bit? I'm gonna snooze just a little longer."
Mm.
And it was before he was going to work and all that. So, I shut the door bedroom door, got back in the bed. One of my cats, Esther, climbed on top of me because they
This
love.
is happening in real life, not in
Yes,
the dream. Okay.
this is not the dream.
This is a precursor to the dream. Okay.
This is just setting
I
the
was like, wow,
scene.
that's a really normal dream. Sounds like reality.
Well, okay. It's funny you say that. So, I get in the bed, Esther gets on top of me, she, like my cats like to sleep, like,
Yeah.
on my side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "God, I really just wanna go back to sleep." And I was like, "You know what? This is how I'm gonna go back to sleep." And all of a sudden, I start, like, as I'm laying, digging into the side or into my mattress,
Okay.
and I'm, like, able to, like, kind of wormhole, like, shimmy myself
Inside
inside
of
this
it?
hole, like, yeah, and, like, keep going, and, like, I'm going through the house, and I'm going in the ground, and I'm, like, inside the earth,
You became a worm.
and that's how I fell asleep, and it was, like, I didn't choose to do that, it was weird that weird waking
It was like
period.
a meditation thing.
Well, I know there was, like it was straight up a dream, like, it was, like, a hallucinating, like, but I feel like I'm awake, like, Esther was with me, like, she went on I
She's
feel
just
like
by
she
your side.
yes, and
That's cute.
or on top of me, I don't know, but I feel like she was like, "Oh, you wanna go to sleep? Here you go." I felt somehow like she was
She
the
helped you
one.
do it?
Yeah,
Cats are weird like that.
yes, I swear that she put that shit in my brain, and it was weird.
She's like, "Worm sleep good. Here you go."
'Cause it was like there was no difference between me getting up, shutting the door, coming back to bed, and then this whole story and, like, this whole adventure into the earth the center of the earth happens.
It's really cute. I have the visual of y'all doing that in my brain makes me really happy.
Well, I've thought about how to draw it, and I can't, I'm not any kind of artist in that way, I can't draw. I haven't developed that skill, but I feel like you could maybe do
Yeah,
it.
I see it so clearly.
I was like, "I'm gonna tell Nicole," and also just ask, have you ever had, like, a dream that seems like you're doing what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, no, I'm actually dreaming. This is not awake time." Like, where those 2 things kinda blend.
Where you're lucid?
Yeah, like, yeah, I guess it's lucid dreaming.
Yeah, I do have those a lot.
I do not, and I think that maybe is why it was so weird to me.
Yeah, that's cool though. I like that. I had a dream last night about I was over at this girl's house making she was at my house making meatloaf because it was all my dishes, and she was looking for a pan, and I just recently acquired this little loaf pan in real life. I was
Okay,
like, "I have the
cute.
perfect thing," and she was, like, trying to talk me down from using the loaf pan, and I'm like, "It's a loaf pan, and you're making a meatloaf." I'm like, "It's made for that. Why is it such a hard sell?" And finally, she was like, "You're right. Aw." And then we made meatloaf.
Was it
The
good?
end.
Was it good?
I don't
A little
remember
dry.
I don't remember actually eating it. I think I woke up before we ate
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember my dreams that much, and I try to keep a dream journal, and they're really a lot of times they're just so absurd, like, there's not really making heads or tails about it,
Yeah,
but because this one was like, I was doing what I was doing just in the real
and yeah.
world,
And then all of a
I was
sudden I wanna make that art really badly, and, like, the tunnel, I wanna make it to where you and Esther move, like, it's interactive.
ooh, I
It'll be
love that.
Imma make it. Imma write it down. Let me write it down.
Okay,
I
write it
knew I
down,
was
write
gonna write something.
it down. You're ready.
Dream. Madison becomes a worm. Got it.
Yeah, I feel like that was a special dream.
I like it. I'm here for it. I wanna actually be able to do that.
I know. I was like, well, it felt weird when it was happening because it was new, but I'm like, if I chose to do this and could do this whenever, girl, I'd be going worm mode literally everywhere.
That's funny.
Oh. So it's been a minute since we have
I know, it feels
recorded.
like 1,000 years, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I told you before we started recording that I was in my luteal
Now
phase
here we are
and here we are
again.
again. So that tells you it's been a hot minute.
That means your uterus is gonna drag my uterus into your bullshit. I have to go to
You're
the
welcome.
I have to go get a ultrasound on Wednesday.
Okay, good. So you're
I mean, good, but I don't have you ever had a vaginal one where they
yes.
use that rod?
They do that
It's
with the baby.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't I don't really mind it during it because I can kind of keep my brain elsewhere, but as soon as it's over and you're just full of that, like,
Liquid, that
cold jelly
jelly sip,
shit,
yeah.
oh, I hate that
Well,
part. Ew. But at
that
least you'll have maybe some answers and at least a way to, like, direction to figure
yeah.
out what
That feeling I feel like is something that women don't talk about. That,
the
like,
cold jelly feel.
specifically when the doctors leave and you can put your clothes back on and you have to, like, use a tissue or something to wipe that shit out of your gash.
Have you ever left not doing it? Just been like, "Fuck it."
No, but there's something like
I have.
it, like, puts me in the mind of, like, having sex with someone and, like, having to like, they're just gone and you gotta clean up your own mess. There's just something really sad about it. It's like, "Well, this didn't end the way that I thought it would."
Oh, man. I'm always, like, really concerned of how my, like, underwear looks, like, in the chair where you leave your clothes. So I'll usually, like, fold it, though even though I'm never folding my underwear at home, but I'm like, "Gotta make it looking
This is
nice."
how perfect I am. Me
There's
and my vagina.
there's no shit stain showing.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Or I'll, like, I thoughtfully place my clothes in some sort of pile.
Mhm. If I were a doctor, I would pay attention to all that shit. I'd be coming in, like
100%.
I would not be doctoring. I'd be like, "What's her feet
No.
look like? Her toenails look
That's me all
like?"
day, every day anyway. I no. I have to, like, make myself calm down about that, but I notice everything
What are the
about all of
what did they
it.
bring in here? What's their keychain look like?
Yeah. What kind of shoes you got on? How much toe jam do you have? Are you wearing socks?
Smell 'em. Oh god.
Ew,
No, I
stop.
didn't mean it
Okay,
like that. I
stop.
meant like, are they wearing perfume? Sorry, I took it to a place I didn't really mean.
Now we're just getting X-rated.
Well, if the shoe
It's
fits.
not the dentist, it's the gyno.
Call back.
Anyways.
But yeah, it's been a minute. I went out of town and visited family a little
Yeah.
bit. That was it was good. It was quick and um it was good to see I'm trying to say their without saying their names, so I'm like
Yeah.
stumbling on my words, but it was good to see our kid interact with her cousins who she doesn't get to see that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Um and then you went to Charleston.
Yeah, I went for a graduation that I didn't even attend.
Really?
There was some miscommunication about when he was actually walking and, like, tickets and venues and whatever. There was whatever, but, it's downtown Charleston, so it was packed everywhere. So, we didn't actually see the graduation itself, but that weekend down there, it's just there the house we stayed in was like, one of those old houses that are down there, and there's, like, a huge porch, like, an alley porch.
Mm.
But I just, like, set up at the end of the porch. I was like a bird the whole time, just drinking back to back. Like, the entire time, that's all anybody did that weekend. Everybody there, the whole town.
Yeah.
But the amount of drunk people in that town and how, like, it really put me in my place with feeling old because it's like, they look like children, these kids that are graduating this year. And they're born in, like
They are children.
they're born in, like, 2004?
Oh god.
Anyway, or early I don't know.
Yeah,
That's not the point,
yes.
but so we delighted the graduate by going we were like, "We'll go to one of these little bar, club, whatever things that you like to go to." I'm
Why do
like,
you wait, hold on. Why do you say bar club?
I'll explain why.
Okay.
So, I'm like
That's not like
I'm not like a nightlife type of person. I'm not trying to go to a place where there's a million people and have to, like, wait for anything. Like,
yeah, and it's graduation weekend, so I'm sure
and
it's
every so
packed.
not only is it packed, but everybody's just kind of, like, reckless. So,
Yeah, it's like a celebration.
we go to this place. It's, like, $10 cover charge. And I'm like, "I don't what am I paying $10 for?" No, absolutely nothing except for just walk in the door. You gotta pay $10. So it's like cops, like the police are like scanning your ID. It's like real official or whatever. But this place is an entire city block building. Okay. And so there's 3 different sections that have different music and different lights that are all just like flashing and the music is super loud.
So
But
they're connected internally?
they're connected by a huge porch on the
Okay.
outside.
Oh, okay,
So you
okay.
can kind of walk out to one and go into another or whatever.
Okay.
But there's lines outside of each one, and each one, the music is extremely loud and very different. So you first walk in and it's like, like dance club type, whatever vibe music. And then in the bar section, whatever that we were in, it was like, it reminded me of like a skating rink soundtrack or something. They
Okay.
played like 10 or 15 seconds of each song and then it squished into it. So as soon as you like caught a vibe, it's like it would change into another song.
God, this
And
sounds just like a really bad DJ.
it was like a fever dream.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not kidding. I'm standing there like with my little tiny plastic cup of shit beer, that option that they have, like literally old enough to be these people's mother, just like watching what's happening. And it's like all these drunk kids and then their parents who are there for their graduation, just shit faced. And I was so overstimulated the entire time. I was like, why is this fun for anyone? I don't understand why anyone finds that fun. I don't know that there would ever be a time in my life where I'd find that fun.
I think I could.
There's definitely a time where I went to like clubs or whatever, but
Yeah.
it, and maybe it just didn't seem, maybe it was exactly like that, but it didn't seem like that to me. Because when I lived in Miami, I definitely went to some places that were like that, I guess, and I loved it.
Yeah. I would at least I would love the idea of it. I'd be like, "I wanna go to this." And then I'd get there and then I'd be like, "Never
But it's
mind."
like, so it was like chill at first. It wasn't that busy. I mean, it was a lot of people in there, but I went up to the bar to go get a final drink because I see the line is like suddenly like literally hundreds of people in line to wait to come to this place for what reason I can't tell you. And so I'm standing at the bar and then all of a sudden you just feel this like pressure. And then
Ugh.
I turn around and there's like it's sardined. So then you're just like trying to turn
Oh, shit.
around, like holding drinks. I'm like trying to hold I legitimately got an arm cramp because I'm
Uh-huh.
holding my drink like this, like trying not to spill it. And then I had to take my arm and like go like this. I looked insane. I'm like, of course I'm the old lady here that has a fucking arm cramp from holding my beer closed to squeeze through these. It was just awful and like the just
Mm.
like kids arguing with each other because they're just drunk and like a missing friend who's shit
Oh my
faced.
god, that's what I was thinking. I was like, "This sounds like a place that you would lose a friend real quick."
In the bathroom, I went to the bathroom
Oh
in one of these
god.
places and the conversation, I'm not trying to be any kind of way other than just honest about how it sounded to me, but it was legitimately like, and I was like, what the fuck? Where am I? What are they talking about? Why is it all just indecipherable?
We have got to make that a sound bite. I'm serious. Oh,
And they all look exactly the fucking same. It's weird. Weird. In Charleston, there is a prototype. And those people are from all over the country.
mhm, mhm.
But once they get down there, it doesn't matter. You
What
from Boston, doesn't matter. You from Wisconsin, it doesn't fucking matter. As soon as you're there, wearing
describe it.
you're wearing like every single female has a dress. They are like of some sort. It is beyond rare to see a girl in pants or maybe some shorts, but all dresses, varying lengths, whatever. And then sandals, like a dress sandal of some type, and then just, like, varying degrees of pearls or, like, a lot of white
Yeah.
and, like, floral prints.
Now it's probably because of what the graduation. I
Yeah,
feel
because
like
they
that
all wore
sounds
white to that, but still,
okay.
I don't it was uh, I I legitimately felt like the if it's one of those things where, like, your hell is, like, the worst thing you can imagine, it would be that. It was that bad to me.
What were you wearing?
A pair of jeans and a black wife beater that was cut off, some Adidas slides.
Did you interact with anyone, like, other than people in your party?
Uh, no.
Yeah.
No, because any of those interactions would have started a fight. These people were
Oh
terrible.
my god. Damn.
Not my crowd.
So it was $10 worth spent.
Yeah, I guess. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have aged out of whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
don't even know if you aged in. You were never I don't know if that was your scene.
I don't think
Ever.
so.
Yeah.
Not that. No. That
Yeah.
ain't it. It's so strange.
Any, like, memories I have of being, like, sardined into a situation like that, I just can, like I don't remember it doesn't really matter where it was or what it was. I have, like, the same feeling of just, like, it's so I wanna say, like, it's just so superficial.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
went
like, what are other people doing? What are they wearing? It's like a comparison. Is this person looking at me? Is this
yeah.
like I'm looking
Yeah.
at this person?
Yes.
And that it's just so surface.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts about the whole thing was because I was, like, disassociating a lot because it was intense. But I was, like, watching people's feet. I just, like, specifically was watching their feet on the dance floor. It was hilarious. It looked like, the tops of people's bodies do not match what their feet are doing. Like, if you look at from, like, belly button up, there's a lot of movement going on. If you
Uh-huh.
look at just their feet, it looks like slow zombies dancing, just, like, just weird, just, like, shuffling of feet. It was so odd. I wanted to record it, but I was worried about, like, having my phone out just, like, recording people and pissing someone off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally projecting when I say this, but I feel like a lot of times that's because people are afraid. And so they're feeling it somewhat in their body because of where they're at. You can't
Yeah.
really, but they're like afraid to go full tilt into
Yeah.
what they want to dance like
Yeah.
because it's about how they look.
Yeah.
And so you can see physically, like, or even energetically,
Yeah.
that that tension or like that restraint.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It was weird. It was very interesting. The juxtaposition of how different it was. I was like, "What the fuck is going on with these people's feet?"
We used to cut loose a couple
I
times, once
know.
or twice around the dance floor.
I'll still do it every once in a while at home by myself. I'm like, "I miss Madison,"
No, we just talked about, like, maybe dancing again and, like,
in a
that
different way.
yeah.
It's hard now because you have your nugget. I still the last time God, that same night with the lobster situation,
Oh,
I was
watch episode 4 if you wanna know about the lobster situation.
I danced that night,
Yeah,
but by myself.
well,
I mean, that's fine.
it feels good to dance.
Listen,
I love it.
eh, I don't wanna go to just like, my perfect there's a sweet spot where I feel super comfortable. It is, like, a local spot. It has to be not too super crowded, and there has to be just enough space where everybody's afraid to go dance up front. Let
Yeah,
me invade that space. Or there might be just, like, a handful of people having a good
yeah.
time. I'm not trying to show out and, like, go wild and have a dance off or anything like that. But and if there is a lot of people I just want
Just
that I want that, like, up front spot, that little bubble where no one goes up
mhm,
there.
mhm,
I
that's a
want
good
that.
spot.
So
Yeah.
I can be really close to the music and just forget about
Mhm,
everything else. I
mhm.
love that.
Cherished memories I've had with you like that. But, yeah, I'll get Joey to watch The Kid, and we can go out sometime, and I wanna do that soon. Not soon, but soon.
Okay. You say word. There's a band that I know you would like. We'll
Oh,
go.
really? Okay. Alright, well,
The
some
end. Bye, everybody. Good
bye.
episode. And we're tapped out.
And that was all.
That was it. Now we're
We're
dead.
really just done. We're just gonna sit here in
No, it
silence.
really does. We should do that just to see how long we could do it for. Um,
That was my idea for the first episode. For us to just sit and stare at each other and see.
I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Mm,
I really do wanna do that though, for real. We should do that just as a
okay.
fun aside.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's weird how we haven't necessarily gotten to a groove or, like, a specific schedule because 'cause we're still trying to
Mhm.
find I do think that this time of day is
Yeah.
best for our brains to not
I agree. I think
rabbit hole.
last one, it was so late in the night when we recorded.
4:27 AM.
Exactly. And we got some feedback from your mom.
It's her favorite episode. It's so funny. I almost like both of us were just like, "We don't know about this. Like, we might have to cut some stuff."
It was the first time we were like, "Ugh," like,
Like maybe I crossed boundaries. We're like, "Who? Nah, this is like I'm cringing." My mom's like, "It's my favorite one yet. I really feel like you guys got your groove." Oh, okay, heard. Just
y'all seem
unhinged.
so comfortable.
Our groove is unhinged. Not mad about that.
No, but I feel you on the time of day. I do feel like my brain's just a little bit more clear head. That doesn't mean we can't be unhinged now.
No, true.
It's just I think it will help us be aware of the unhingedness.
I also don't think like it's a requirement for us to be unhinged. But yeah, all that said, it does ow, it feels like we're out of practice, but that's okay. It do be
Happens.
do like that. Life happens.
Shit, yeah. Shit, yeah.
Shit, yeah, dog.
We'll get
Shit,
back
yeah,
on it. We
dog.
are back on it. We here.
We on it.
We're
We
so
here.
happy to see you.
Nice to see you guys.
You look good.
You do look great. Look at them.
They never look better. Ooh, dang. I'm a little. Get a little.
Anyways,
Oh
tell me
god.
about Booger and her swimming.
Okay, yeah. So there is an update there. Last time I spoke about it, we were talking about how it's been a little challenging. She is just
And this is something y'all been like bothered by.
yeah, the swim class thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard to see your child be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I spoke about how, especially when you are around other kids and if they're doing really well, and you're
Yeah.
what's wrong with my kid, which is
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
I have to check myself on that kind of thinking
Yeah, 'cause that's not
immediately.
fair.
No, 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 no. But we talked back and forth about like, well, maybe we continue swim class, but just she and I go up there and we do it on our own. Like maybe the
Sorry.
class setting is not the best thing for her. Because we kind of pinpointed that it wasn't that she it's just she needs to be comfortable. And sometimes it takes her, especially like in a different setting or
Yeah.
different people are around her, it takes her a minute to get comfortable and she just needs
Yeah.
that time.
That's
So
me too. I feel that.
yeah. So we're like, maybe we just need to like not do the class and just do private classes.
Yeah.
Um, but it kept sticking with us like, no, we need to see this through.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do private one on one, just she and I, so we can work on that together.
Mhm.
But she's still going to class.
Mhm.
And last Wednesday, she has one more class next week. Uh, she did amazing.
Aw.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah, she was jumping. She really hated going from front, like being on her belly in the water.
Mhm.
She wants to be upright and like on me.
Yeah.
And so getting her like away from my body and like comfortable on her stomach in the
Yeah.
water and flipped on her back,
Yeah.
like in the transition between those two
Yeah.
things, like that's a whole and the whole class, like that was day one stuff.
Yeah.
And just to show you, like she just now is getting comfortable with that,
Yeah.
and this is the fifth class she's had. So
I mean,
and that's okay.
but there's big life stuff in that really
Mhm,
matters that you
mhm.
teaching her right now. Number one, live life at your own pace.
Yes,
It's not a race and don't compare
true.
yourself to other people.
You're right.
And secondly, like it would be she's learning resilience to push through
Mhm.
that stuff. Because if you just like cater, oh, it's hard for her, so don't let her do it, then she'll never be
Right.
she won't want to like have any kind of adversity or whatever.
And I've even caught myself a couple of times, like, the teacher is so great. Oh, she's amazing, and she's actually a lifeguard there too, so I talk to her a
I thought
lot
you were
when
about
I
to
go
say life
walking.
coach.
She's a life coach. She could be. Um, but she obviously is picking up, like, uncomfortable,
Yeah.
uh, feelings about it and everything and wants to do something about it, which I think that's great. It's good to have a teacher do that. Um, but I'm like, you she there's a couple of times where she's like I feel like she thinks it's more of, like, a desire
Uh-huh.
and something that like, I just wanna, like, kind of give her an explanation of why maybe my kid feels this way, maybe
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't need to make any
No.
excuses. Like, there's
No.
no excuses, there's no
It just is what it
it is
is.
what it is. She just and I so if she says anything, kind of remarks about it, I've just said, like, something like, just she's gotta take baby steps or something like
Yeah.
that, just kinda
Yeah.
like and I think that it's amazing to have this, like, realization
Yeah.
and this practice with that before
Yeah.
she starts preschool, before she starts school, and, like,
Yeah.
that's a whole other
I mean, like I said, that's big life
Mhm.
stuff right there.
Mhm.
'Cause it's never gonna stop.
Yeah,
Shit
true.
don't get easier, girl, it gets worse. Like,
Exactly.
figure it out. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel that way, about us too in life. And I was reading a book recently, I think I quoted it last time, but it's been so good, and I don't even know the title. I'll bring it next time. I'll
Okay.
bring it and show it.
Okay.
But a chapter I have to read it, like, really slowly because it is dense.
Yeah.
But it was talking about how the author and his wife, they use the, analogy of mountain climbing to
Uh-huh.
talk about what it's like to have a relationship with someone and build
Yeah.
something with someone,
Yeah.
and how the base camp is the home or like the relationship itself. You can kind
Okay.
of see it as both. And it's just as important, if not more important, than the actual mountain climbing that you go off and do on your own.
Yeah.
And so, if, like, let's say, and a lot of times like in the book, it says like the husband does this and the wife does that. And I don't really necessarily agree with that. Like those kind of,
Parameters or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe more is based on masculine energy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But um so one person can go off and climb the mountain. Well, if they get obsessed with mountain climbing and are not putting anything back into the home base and expect it to be as is when they get back,
Mm.
like that can cause a lot of resentment and negligence in the relationship and the base. And then the other kind of person or energy, another issue that can happen is they think that the home base is the pinnacle. Whether they can't or won't go out and climb a mountain, um, that's an issue if you don't have your own mountains to climb.
Right.
So if you fixate on the home base and you don't worry about any of that, then again, like there's a resentment that can build with the partnership. Like, well,
Yeah.
why is this person going out and doing all this or not including me
Yeah.
in it? And then I'm having to do all this at the base camp on my own.
Yeah.
So hearing it said like that, um, it had Joey and I talking about mountains and, like, what are our mountains?
Yeah.
So I kinda wanted to discuss that with you too, like, I think I'm at a point where I'm not quite ready, but I see myself getting ready to have another mountain. Like, I'm making space or kinda figuring out which next mountain I wanna climb.
Yeah. I feel that.
Just with being with our kid at home, that's
Mhm.
been my focus, and I love that, I chose
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and I think it's the best thing and I'm grateful that we can do it. Um, but I can see myself eventually wanting something outside of the home, give some energy towards that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wanna choose it. I'm not I want if I got a choice, what kind of mountain where am I going?
Yeah. No,
You
that's
know?
I mean, yeah, take advantage of that place you're in life
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So I had I came up with a kind of I don't know if I can remember it all, but a list but I wanted to hear maybe like if you have where you feel at like how you're climbing your mountain, how many mountains you got going on, what's
I
your whole
feel like work for me is a mountain
Mhm.
and one that like I'm responsible for keeping up or something. Like it's my job to maintain the mountain
Yeah.
also while climbing it.
Yeah. So you're like picking up trash and
Yeah,
yeah,
make sure everybody else is good.
arrows are
Like,
pointing in the right direction.
yeah. So it's that is work is for sure a mountain for me right now.
Mhm. How much, like if you had to give it a percentage of your energy, like, what do you think?
Physical energy, I would say, like, 80%, which I don't love right
Yeah.
now. Mental energy, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not a lot.
Yeah. That's
But
hey.
that's recent.
Yeah.
Thank you, therapy.
Maybe it's not a lot compared to what it has been in the past.
No, and if I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it, it's like silly stuff that we talked about or,
Mhm.
like, just something random or
Mhm.
just, like, general problem solving.
Mhm.
And I think that is, like because I plan the production each week, it's like a puzzle
Yeah.
that's constantly working, so it's just like an ongoing puzzle in my head, but I enjoy
Mhm.
making that work, so it doesn't feel mountainous, that part of it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the actual physical, like I've told you, I diagnosed myself with lasagna shoulder. It's so bad.
Mhm.
And I'm part of the reason why I'm so fidgety today because
Yeah.
I can't get comfortable. And it's to the point where I'm like genuinely worried about it. Like if I don't do something, it's gonna get worse and then
Yeah.
cause like future problems. But what other mountain? I think that
I feel like you going to therapy has been a
yeah, I
mountain.
was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Um that one's been I don't know, that one's weird. That one is like if you imagine like a mountain that changes, it's the same mountain, but like the way it looks or the weather or the
Mhm.
terrain or something changes each time
Yeah.
you go to it.
Yeah.
So there's even though it's in the same place or whatever, and you know that it's like good or
Mhm.
something reliable, I guess, there's an unpredictability to it, I think. So it's like certain certain climbs exhaust you more than others based on
Yeah.
what's going on. So I would be hard pressed to put like a percentage on that one.
Yeah, because you never
It's
know.
different and it's like an
Yeah.
ongoing thing too.
Yeah.
Um I think those are really my mountains right now. I
Mhm.
would um I feel like my home base is a mountain in of itself right now
Yeah.
because I've been going through this whole like purging process and I think we were talking about this before. There's like being in a rental house, there's like a thing that just hangs in the back of your head. You know it's not like your forever home or whatever. So it's hard for me sometimes to like really get into it and like make it how I ideally want it. But at the same time, I'm throwing them a shit ton of money every month, so I'm trying to get away from that thinking and just do what I
Yeah.
wanna do.
Yeah.
So and because when I first entered that home, I was in a weird place in my life and had stuff in, like, 5 different locations and, like, brought the things from those locations at very different times and haven't known really what to do with them and also kinda just don't want it, so I have a lot of clutter, it's just shit that I don't want. And I have a lot of anxiety about what to do with it
Mhm.
because I have something in my head that tells me I can't just go take it to Goodwill.
Mhm.
So I keep wanting to give it to people, which I have done some of, but that's also like making extra work for me because I have to like figure out when to give it to them and when are they available and when am I available. And then I've like
Yeah.
forgotten half of it. And now that stuff, I don't even know where it is because it got moved. Like, so I think that is a bit of a mountain for me too right
Yeah.
now. Like, my home base is on a mountain. I need to put it on the ground
Yeah.
or something. That's
And
I
like
don't
I
know.
said, I think, you can't climb other mountains unless that base is secure,
Yeah.
is functional, you know where everything is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I just love that analogy. It
Yeah.
really had me thinking about,
I do
uh,
like that.
so I'm gonna keep using it
I like it too because it has, like it puts you in a nature mind, like,
yeah.
it there's a certain visual for me that is very nice to think about.
And I'm trying to I it's in my nature to be, a little bit, dramatic.
No,
Shut
not you.
up. And I love that so I'm trying to, like, seek out balance in life a lot
Oh, same.
lately. Yeah. And I like that it's, like, like, you have to have balance. Like, there has
Yeah.
to be a balance, and not even just, like, within yourself, but with your partner.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
100%. I think of seesaws a lot.
yeah.
Like, that visual in my brain happens a lot, and I have to, like I try to think about it as, like 'cause it's if different seesaws for different things. Because sometimes other people are on the other side of the seesaw, and sometimes it's me and myself and I on the seesaw, And I like to there are definitely days whenever I slam myself down and one other version of me goes flying or like
Damn.
one, it gets crazy. But I really do. I think of seesaws a lot. And if you're like on a seesaw with another person, it takes a certain communication. You
Mhm.
can't not pay attention to them. There's a thoughtfulness to be able to stay stable.
Mhm.
Otherwise, one of you is, and that can be fun.
Yeah.
If they want a different perspective, then I'll hold it down here and you go
Yeah.
up there and vice versa.
Mhm. But you're right,
But
like, constant communication with
yeah,
that. Yeah.
to keep it, yeah, it requires constant communication and within yourself too. Like if you and another version of yourself are on the other side of it, or you know, one of your mountains or whatever. I really do. I have like a seesaw visual in my head a lot.
Well, yeah, so I was thinking, I was like, "Okay, well, okay, what next mountain do I want? And if I have the chance to choose it, what does that look like?" So I know I want it to be mine. Like, I want it to be something that I can do on my own. I don't want someone telling me what to do. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want a boss.
Yeah.
I don't even think I want, like, coworkers.
Yeah.
Um, or, like, I don't know. I want it to be mine, my solely my thing.
Uh-huh.
I want it to be flexible so I can still work at my home base
Yeah.
as much as I need to. Um, and I want it to be creative. So I don't know what the fuck that's gonna look like, but and I don't know if the podcast is part of it too. I don't know. I
Well, that would
mean,
make me your coworker if you're okay with that.
maybe this is a different our those 2 mountains are connected. We're building a I can build a trail to it. Carve out a little path, take my machete.
Hack her down.
But, maybe that could be helpful.
The mountain thing.
Yeah, the mountain
Yeah.
thing.
I'm like, what? The
The machete.
machete? Like, yeah, machetes are pretty helpful.
You know, I wish violence on someone right now, and I don't think that's okay,
Ew.
but we need to talk I think we wrote it down to talk about, and I was trying to segue.
Oh.
Of all those things, what am I trying to segue to, do you know?
Motherfucking P. Diddy.
First of all
Yeah.
damn.
I, like many people on the internet, got real into that whole Drake and Kendrick rap beef thing, which I'm not gonna go into it because it doesn't fucking matter. All I have to say is whatever collateral damage occurred, um, Kendrick Lamar made some really good music. The
That's
end.
right.
That's all. That's my opinion. The end. But we were talking earlier about this. Like, if Drake is an actual pedophile, then why the fuck aren't we doing something? And how long have there been like mutterings of this? Years that
Yeah,
this has been talked about and alleged and whatever. So let's get after it because
yeah.
the same shit happened with P Diddy, and then all these allegations came out. And now all of a sudden there's a fucking video that right before we started this thing, he's on the internet apologizing. There's no way that you could not acknowledge what that was. It was what it was. You beat on that woman,
And you
and
should
there
be in
is
jail.
actual video receipts
Yeah,
of it. And
yeah,
your ass should be in jail. And the
yeah.
only reason he's not is because he's rich.
Mhm.
And this, uh, the
I
timing of when these things come out and all of that stuff is so
Mhm.
fucking weird and it's so twisted and it's fucked up. And
Yeah.
I am and it's not just music, it's everywhere. It is
Mhm.
all over the place.
Mhm.
There's so much like sexual assault, physical assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, pedophilia,
Blackmailing.
blackmail, rape, extortion, murder is happening all over the place. And we're just like, there was with my phone. Don't take my TikTok. And then we want to get mad. And this might ruffle some feathers. And I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to sit here and speak any kind of rhetoric about it at all. But there are more people that post things about what's happening in the Middle East. And that is like, how far from you when there are people in our town and all up in this country right now that we prop up that are like doing terrible shit or that we turned a blind eye to. And there's all these people preaching about like, oh, don't become desensitized to things and just let war occur. And I agree. I'm not condoning war. That's not what I'm saying in the least. And I refuse to even speak on any of that. And if that's problematic, then so be it. But, like, to just bump a Drake song if he's actually a pedophile, like, look what happened with Michael Jackson. He got called a weirdo for, like, everybody knew some shit was weird. And now it's, like, still, because there's not damning evidence or whatever, even though that HBO thing came out, there's all these people saying, "Yes, this occurred. Yes, that happened." And then people are so I don't know. Are we allowed to listen to his music? I don't know. R. Kelly, same shit.
Yeah.
He out here peeing on children. We're like, but that song though, which fine. Like I have a hard time with like separating. No, I don't have a hard time separating art from person. Because to me, if it's like it's a bop, it's a bop. I can
Mhm.
turn my head off and whatever. But at the same time, you do have to take some responsibility with like, are we gonna sit here and prop these people up? It's crazy.
And with all this whole P. Diddy thing,
Sorry, I went on a tirade just then.
no, don't apologize. Remember, we are gonna have like a real shit alert go across the thing.
Nicole's upset again.
Real shit alert. But yeah, the P. Diddy thing, it opened my eyes to I always thought blackmail when it comes to keeping things on the low, like it came out of a thing of fear. And maybe it still is a fear, but it's like a twisted like, "Oh, I'm not gonna let this out until it's in my benefit."
Yeah.
So it's fucked up. It's weird that we're like
The hushing and the non-hushing is all monetary related. It's
Mhm.
disgusting. And that's the whole thing. It's all comes down to like money and power, but like what are y'all for what? For what? What is that? Wha think about how much shit you have to worry about whenever you're doing all that type of nefarious things. Like my list of stuff, I mean, I have a lot of anxiety at night and I ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like a little humble me just making pasta and trying to grow a tomato and petting animals and hanging out with you. Like,
That sounds nice.
it's lovely and it's
Yeah.
on purpose. Like I'm no,
Mhm.
I can't imagine having to manage all that. And that shit gets people in people's heads and they start acting all weird and then they have access to all those things and then see other people abusing that position and power and money. It's so gross.
And the theme you have to acknowledge it because I think that's the only thing I feel like is tangible to, like, take away and, like, use in your own life somehow is all of it is to divide,
Yes.
like, us versus them.
Yes.
Even the song,
Yeah.
they what is it? "Ain't Like Us."
Yeah.
Like, even and then the whole, like, are you gonna still listen to this music or are you not? Like, it's like a this or that. Are
Yeah.
you shirts or skins?
Yeah. That's how our whole political thing is that. It doesn't
Mhm.
even matter.
The wars yeah,
It
all of
doesn't
it.
even matter. It doesn't matter the insert topic. It's
Mhm.
like it's that kind of and it's a way I would argue to control people because as long as
Mhm.
you're like functioning from that frontal lobe ego this or
Mhm.
that black or white place then it's like base thinking. You're stupid. You're making yourself ignorant. Cuz not being able to like be like why do we have to agree with each other? Why is that problematic? Like we don't it's ridiculous.
Right.
But like we're being fed that like divisive type of thinking in every single way possible.
Mhm.
It's so gross. And like just this celebration of money is wild.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's like I was telling you too, just like the fucking Met Gala. It's like I go on Instagram to try to disassociate from reality for a minute and scroll around and I'm like inundated by all these people in fancy clothes. I don't even know who half these people are. And like
Yeah.
the aesthetic of it is fun, I guess, or whatever, but like no then there's like all these like infographics about how much those tickets cost, but it's related to the Middle East stuff that people are
Oh,
posting.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're all here spending all this money when they should be
Should
doing
be
whatever.
giving XY amount
And
to
then I'm over here sitting on my couch like fuck the war over there. Like I'm $75,000 plus in debt with the federal government right now and I'll never be able to own shit or do anything for ever because of it. And one of those motherfuckers, y'all go every year. Like Kim Kardashian, at me,
the
girl.
whole it's a family reunion at that
That's what I'm
place for
saying.
them.
One of y'all to sacrifice one ticket could change homegirl's life, me.
Mhm.
And I'm like, like it's that there's something about that that just
Yeah.
like fundamentally fucks me up that we
Yeah.
can be in a place so close to each other. We're the same thing. The only thing that happened is that you were born at a certain time in a certain place with a certain connection to certain
Mhm.
people, and that's what got you where you're at to have that level of privilege, and it not like, it's becoming more and more, like, pulled apart to where there's
Mhm.
no, like when we were little, there was a middle class, and there were, like,
Mhm.
things in the
Mhm.
middle. That doesn't exist anymore,
Right.
and it just keeps worse and worse. I was thinking about it when I was driving to work the other day, because 'cause I'm like, I spent our entire teacher retirement on getting out of the relationship I was in and, like, getting a place to live and shit, and
Mhm.
bye-bye money. Because
Mhm.
guess what? You have to have a bed. You have to have, you have to have
A
thousands of
deposit
dollars.
fee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
then like,
Mhm.
at first, $20,000 seems like a lot, and then you have, like, 2,000 left
Mhm.
2, 3 years later, and you're like, "What the fuck happened?" But that's I mean,
Money comes, money goes.
but I was thinking, like, I'm not gonna have like, I took the retire because we could have left that in there,
Yeah.
but I took my retirement just because needed to function and be
Mhm.
okay in life and not be in a relationship or in a dynamic because of a financial need. That's not okay.
Right.
So, um, I was thinking the other day, like, I don't like if our pasta company doesn't take off and afford me a retirement or someone or I don't start putting money into some sort of like investment
Mhm.
when I get old, what is going to happen?
Mhm.
No, I don't have any, but like nobody's going to, then I'll just be like a literal homeless old lady.
Oh my god, did you speaking of, there was I get on the Greenville subreddit. Shout out, I guess. It's awful.
This town is
It's
getting
gross.
weird.
It's so gross. The the post was, "What's all the crackheads doing down at the downtown QT? Where they come from?"
What do
And
you
the
mean? Where did they come from?
and I'm not you're allowed to ask a question. I'm not gonna police someone even in the terms they use, like, whatever, your life. Do
Yeah.
you? If you wanna be a disgusting pig, be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what bothered me about it is the top posts or comments. It had 68 ups,
Which is a good thing.
I mean, it was the top one, it had the most.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
The little ups push it to the top.
yes, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, I mean, you can change, I think, filter how you see it.
Uh,
So you can look at the newest comments versus, oldest. But
I feel like I'm walking a dog.
come
Come
on,
here.
come here, Sparky. Um, but I get sidetracked so easily.
I'm sorry.
No, no, it's not your fault. It's my brain. It's
The
my
top
brain.
in my
It's
brain.
my brain, not yours.
Yeah, my brain.
Top comment. Yeah, it was. It was the person did it. They explained where they're coming from in their eyes. They were saying they're coming from a local shelter that's nearby. Okay. He said, but if you get there at a certain time, it looks like they're filming The Walking Dead. And that is the top comment.
That is like immediate desensit I can't say that word right now.
Desensitization.
Of reality
Yeah.
by relating it to a fictional thing because then you're not seeing that as real. It's fictional to you now. And it's a joke. You made it a joke. Well, how about like
Disgusting.
I'm not okay, so here's the thing. I am
And
not just
68, at least 68, because you can downvote it, which I did.
uh
So it could have way more ups and other people have downvoted it. But still to have it be in the positive 68 times.
but that's the kind of shit that people want to see. It's mean. People like mean-spirited shit, and I don't know. Like, it don't it's so tough. The homelessness thing is such a can of worms.
I was
It's
going
so
to
complicated.
yeah,
But
I was going to the Salvation Army right where they're talking about,
yeah,
and it's closed. They've moved to East North Street, and it
yeah,
has become a camp.
yeah.
And I was like, when I pulled up, I was like, "Whoa, what is going on here?"
I had to call the police one day because I was at that Starbucks that's on the other side of the road,
Mhm.
and a guy had pulled a knife on another guy, and there was, like, a disabled woman involved, and the guy was, like, super erratic, and he looked like he was about to slash everybody. So I called the cops, and I felt there was, like, a part of me that felt bad, but I was like, "I'm not gonna sit there
Yeah,
and
you
watch
can't be
somebody just
too.
stab a whole bunch of
No,
people."
right.
And he tried to come towards me at the car, and I just, like, rolled my
Oh my
window up. "Well,
god,
what are you
dude.
gonna fucking stab my car? Get out of here. All I have to do is press the gas. What are you doing?" Anyways, it's that yeah.
But it's
That's
as simple as what you're saying, like, so many people, like, there you think you might have some kind of safety net.
That
You
could easily be me. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, but that net is a net, and I can tell you
Guess what?
right
Let me
now,
tell you
it
something
can
about nets, okay?
okay,
They got holes in
snip,
them.
snip.
They got holes in them.
That's right. Yeah, so it's just crazy to me the empathy that we're, like, I don't know, maybe drastically, um, just being, like, zapped out of society. I don't know.
It's weird too because I mean, this listen, I could really go off on this. I'm not kidding. Because if you even look at the reason I left the job, because an argument can be, well, go get another job where you do have a retirement.
Mhm.
Okay. The reason I left that is because I did not fundamentally, as a human, feel okay being complicit in what was going on there.
Same.
And I will not sacrifice my ethics, my moral compass, my mental well being, my physical well being, none of
Mhm,
that. I will
mhm.
not sacrifice any of that for myself and for the people that I interact with in a space ever, much less in my community, in a place that I call home, in a place that I'm fucking born. I'm not going to shit on that
Yeah,
for a paycheck.
right. I simplified it in my brain. I was like, "Okay, either I'm gonna continue teaching and my heart is going to r
Break.
or yeah, well, a break, and I'm going to use substances or
Yes.
whatever I can to cope."
Yep.
And, I mean, I'll speak on it, like, we were drinking a lot.
The
W we would go after
teachers are some of the wildest motherfuckers out there because as soon as
True.
they fucking drive out of that parking lot, it's on.
Yes. Where's happy hour? Where we going?
I know more
Trivia.
teachers doing coke than I do service industry people doing coke.
Damn. That's bad.
Facts. At work.
Wow.
Facts.
So, there's that, or my heart was going to turn to cold ice.
Yes.
And those teachers exist. They're the
Those are
veterans, they're there, like, and the thing, like, how, like you said, like, how can you be okay with what's happening?
yeah. And I know that's not to say because there are absolutely some career teachers that are amazing and who can balance that stuff and
That's
who do
true,
great
that's
things.
true.
I'm not trying
Right,
to poop on
right,
that for
right.
anybody. But for me, and it's not just the teaching industry, if you want to call it that. I would feel the same way going to any sort of corporation. Fuck that. I will not work for any sort of bureaucratic entity. So that looks like even local government shit. I won't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Oh,
I
girl,
saw that.
missing the
You
nonprofit
saw the
sector too.
nonprofit
Yeah, yeah,
sector,
yeah.
even that place that we were gonna go move uh naked pasta to.
Oh, shit,
It's
yeah,
like so
yeah,
regimed because it's
yeah.
I mean they are under tight like tight. It is like and it's great. I mean, the facility is fucking amazing. It's so cool that something like that exists. But for me, for my mental health and my well being, I cannot be in an environment like that. I just can't do it. And if that, like, we are in a place now where if you sacrifice things like that, you're punished for it.
Maybe monetarily.
Well,
Is
that's
that
what I
what you
mean.
mean?
But
Punish?
down
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
point, because
yeah,
if I don't have a retirement plan and
yeah,
mama gets old and sick,
yeah.
unless somebody wants to be real nice and take my old ass in, like, for real, sad and upsetting. But it's going to be all right. I'm gonna grow me. there's a,
We're manifesting it.
wasn't
We're gonna have
there
a
was a movie or something, maybe it was a documentary, but I think it's a true story of some woman. I want to say it was like upstate New York or something, but she like lost her mind and lived off apples for years. She like basically squatted in this house somewhere, like abandoned house.
It's
There's an apple
impressive.
tree and she ate apples for a long, 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 long time. And then she eventually just like starved to death and died.
Damn.
But I can keep tomato plants growing all fucking day, so I'm sure I can just live off tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Lots
be
of vitamin
fine.
C, you're
And then
good.
I'll just, like, go to the woods and
Become a tree.
yeah. God, what great gift that would be.
Yeah, that's the end in retirement plan. Like, that's the retirement plan, become a tree.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's so
Write
funny
that
because
down.
no, I had trees on my
Oh,
list of things to talk about,
yeah.
and I scratched it out
Oh, write it again. Come on.
because it didn't make sense with the other stuff. But here you are.
Here you are. Hear ye, girl.
Chee-chaw, bee-chaw.
Trees.
No, I have, and part of the reason why I scratched it out is because I didn't have all of my information that I wanted to say in the right place in my brain, but Trees are my fucking favorite. They're so badass, and we don't talk about it enough. Shout out to trees.
Seriously.
The way that they're, like, social creatures and the things that they do and the information they hold. Y'all are not giving enough respect to trees.
Including myself. I need to give more respect
I'm
to trees.
obsessed with them. That's part of the reason why I love where I live right now, 'cause it's fully encompassed with trees. I don't think I can live in a place without trees.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Same. I mean, I even when I've went out west, like to Colorado and shit, like how open it is. I
That
mean,
would
there are trees there, but I need to be swallowed by the
yep,
hills,
same,
like the
same.
mountains. Like,
That openness is beautiful, and
yeah.
I visiting it, great, awesome, beautiful, wonderful. But I'm a mountain person. We're Appalachia people. That's what we are.
We're
'Cause
hill people.
'Cause even the beach, like, I love the beach, but
Mhm.
there's something about being on the edge of the earth in that way. Unless you can find me, like, a solid mountain on a beach situation, that'd be pretty dope.
That would be kinda cool.
But
Like a
where we are situated geographically, that's it for me. That's all I wanna do is
Oh,
go
yeah.
live inside of a mountain. Let me
Similar.
be with the plants and animals, give me a small little circle of people to vibe with, and I'm good, son. That's the dream.
Retirement.
I mean, that I legitimately want to
Mhm.
have a commune.
Mhm.
Like, not in like
And
a
there's where,
not in like a culty way or like a
yeah.
woo-woo way or
People
like
have they wanna put their own definition of that word, like, on when someone
but
says
they
it,
need to
but you just
stop.
mean the idea of it.
I want to live in a space, like, I want you and Joey and your little family to
Mhm.
be there and me and mine and whatever,
Mhm.
like, uh, maybe however many other people that are similar of mind and can just, like, share shit and be chill and understand. That sounds like a cult. I'm gonna stop talking.
Where I'm the leader.
What is that lady that drank all the colloidal silver? What was her name?
Oh, Mother God.
Mother God.
Mhm.
I am the new Mother God. Send me all your money and come live with me in my mountain. That's not what I'm saying at all. You know what I mean.
Mhm. I do. I
I
do.
really just mean you and Joey.
Yeah.
It's really
That's
awesome.
it. That's our commune.
That's our commune. I just want to live next to my best friend. But yeah, if y'all want to send me money because I'm like God or whatever, that's cool too.
P.O. box number.
I'll
We
I'll
should get a P.O.
I'll
box
comment my
sometime.
Venmo and I'll drop a comment. Send you my Venmo.
There you go. Yeah, we really just need your money. We don't want letters or anything. We don't wanna actually hear from you. We just
No,
want
I
your
would like a letter.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my gosh, can people start writing us letters? Like
That's what I'm
physical
saying. We need
ones?
a P.O. box.
Get a PO box. I'm putting that on our meeting
Yeah.
list. Excuse me while I do document work. PO box. Do we need a phone number that people can call into?
Oh, man. Yes. Leave us voicemails.
That would make my day.
Me too.
I can only imagine the kind of something based on
And we can play them on here if they want
the
to.
interaction we had. I don't even know who's listening to this, to be honest with you.
Your mom.
My mom. She's gonna start calling.
I would love that.
She's the only one that I
Hi.
know is like a regular listener.
I think my sister is.
Is she?
Yeah.
No, I think there's a couple of other. Maybe there's at least one other human that I know said that she liked it. So
I
there's
can't
like
believe even just one. It's not just us. Like, there's actually people that
to me
watch.
it's so cute. I'm like,
Yeah.
my mom's proud of me. Look, she's looking at my project.
Dude, for real. It's like her coming to like a sporting event.
It is. No, especially because of like what I'm doing in therapy right now. There is a part of that that's like just makes me feel so like a little kid happy. Like, thanks, mom. Thanks, mom.
We're so cute.
I know, we're adorable.
Well, I put on their neighbor story.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, it was yeah, I wanted to share it with you because you were in town when it was going on. But so I have a neighbor, he works at a mechanic shop. And at the mechanic shop they have a dog, um, named Axel, German Shepherd, and he's like just over a little like a year. And
The
they
dog's name is Axel that works at the mechanic shop.
They were really creative with that one, I know.
Should name him Tire.
Hubcap.
Anyway, Axel.
But, so the person who owns Axel, was going out of town or something, and so my neighbor was like, "Well, I'll watch him." He even had, like he told me about it ahead of time, and he had part of, like, our fence, like, fixed before Axel came over.
Mm.
But Axel was an asshole. I mean, obviously, it's okay.
Is the neighbor on this side?
Yeah.
Uh,
So but it's okay, like, he's
yeah.
allowed to be an asshole, but you're in a new place, you don't
Yeah.
know where's your owner, you don't even know
Yeah.
who you're with.
Yeah.
So no hate on Axel, but it was bothering the absolute shit out of me because every time we'd go outside, he would bark and, like, charge the fence. And I have a 2-year-old
Yeah.
and another dog who doesn't
Yeah.
understand, like, what's happening and wants to play.
She's such a ding.
And that fence is not I mean, he said he fixed it, but the fence itself is like chicken wire, like, it's not like
Yeah.
something that, like, that German Shepherd could jump that shit if he wanted
Yeah.
to. So it was bothering me all weekend, and I got to a point I knew that on Monday that Axel would be going back to the shop, and I was like, "But what if is is my neighbor, is he gonna bring him back after work? Like, is it a whole week thing?" And I started getting mad at my neighbor. Like, I was, like, pissed. Like, how like, doesn't he d like, that's so inconsiderate. Like, this dog barked at us all weekend, and he's gonna bring that dog back, da da da. And I was like, "Whoa," I had to check myself
Oh.
hard. I was like, "You have no I like, that's just your neighbor keeping if that's the case, he's just keeping his word. You're mad at someone for, like"
Helping someone out
Yeah. I
because it inconvenienced you.
Yes, and I was like, "Damn,
You need to
that's"
do your favors another time, bitch, because I don't
Yeah,
like these favors.
right. And it was like a moment. I was like, "I need to, like, really check myself on this." Um, and I actually ended up having a conversation with that
I'm so
neighbor
gross.
afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, he was, uh he was pretty loud, wasn't he?" Or da da da, said something. I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, y'all weren't too upset with the" and I was like, "No." I was like,
No, we
"Yeah."
definitely weren't upset at all.
But then we got into this whole story of him talking about other like, his last dog he had and how his dog would, like loved him so
Oh,
much that he followed him to work, like, sniffed it out. He only lived, like, a mile and a half from where he works,
that's
and,
so
like, started coming
cute.
there to work with him. Like, he was like, "Might as well just drive him," and, like, 'cause he's gonna
Yeah.
come anyways.
Aw. God,
I know, I was so sweet, and I was like, "That's just people," I'm glad that we're, like, both of us take the time to, like, sit with those feelings and not just ignore them,
yeah.
or, like, if something like that, you have the ability and the opportunity
Yeah.
to challenge that shit
Yeah.
and turn it on yourself.
Because it's you being shitty.
Mhm. It was a bop I had. I bopped myself.
Yeah. Those are the best kind.
Yeah. I like
They're
when
the
you
ha
bop me too, though.
they're the hardest kind
You
too.
taught you were the first to bop, I feel like, bop me,
Yeah.
so it feels like mom. Mom. A mom bop.
I used to bop those kids too. Ding dong.
Physically, she literally hit them. I saw
That's
it.
all I did.
Oh, I was joking.
I'm a child abuser. You hear it first.
Here first.
Here's my release video. I'm really sorry. I'm a bad person.
I released a video of you doing it. I'm like, this is the time. This is the moment.
I'm just a really shitty person. That's ridiculous. Anyways, my lasagna shoulder hurts. It's okay. I'm just gonna use my TENS unit that I got on it later. I'm scared. How do you know when to stop?
You don't, and it can get weird.
Okay. I'll report back
I
on
used to
that.
have it really bad with stress and anxiety from teaching,
Yeah.
and to the point where I ended up going to acupuncturist for help.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I went to a chiropractor, but he was like, he was cool. He would adjust, but the focus, like, he would bring you out into, like, like a room where you like, mats on the floor
Mhm.
and teach you stretches. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't like he was like, "You don't like, the adjustment and shit is, like,
No, it's the muscles
not."
that push your bones into those positions.
Yes.
That's why I don't even fuck with a chiropractor.
Yes, yeah, it's
Because all I need to do is loosen that up and then my
yeah,
bones can move.
yeah. So it's just figure out those movements that you need to do to
Mhm. 'Cause it's
counteract it.
movement that started it. It's the
Mhm.
same movement over and over that so it's just a counter movement.
Mhm.
That's all that is.
I'm sure there's YouTube videos or something.
Yeah. It's just about making the time to do it.
But YouTube. That's a perfect segue.
Speaking of YouTube.
Okay, one of the things that you and I really connect on, and I think it's kind of like we've started like
Started from the bottom now here. Oh, sorry.
oh god.
Gross. Get them. Release the tapes. Sorry.
Oh, okay, anyways.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for
It's okay.
that.
It's okay. Oh god.
My brain is something.
We love
Anyways.
YouTube.
What we're trying to tell you is that we love YouTube. No, I
Mhm.
really legitimately I pay for the premium service
Me
so I
too.
don't have to have those ads because I stay
Yeah.
looking at YouTube.
Yeah.
I look at YouTube more
But
than
we're
anything else, but
particular
specifically comedy podcasts
yes, and I think all of these things are like us learning and growing,
and
like,
music.
this
But
is a part of that
yeah.
because there is so much to learn from comedy podcasts.
Yes.
I don't know if people know that.
No, I don't. I talk
It's
about
not
it.
just funny.
It's like a running joke at work because everything that I talk about, I was like, I was listening to one of my podcasts, and they're like, no way. But the whole thing is that I don't like TV's cool and all, but it's all like 9 times out of 10, I'm watching some shit I've already seen. Unless it's a new documentary about something interesting or like, I really like true crime, but it's toxic to watch that all the time. It's fucked up. And then otherwise, I'm just watching reruns of shit because there's nothing new that's good. And if there is, it requires so much of my attention that I just don't have. So that's why I like podcasts because it's just like a conversation that you're listening to.
And what you get out of it is what you get out of it.
But I don't think people realize like comedy for me, just not only as like a genre of entertainment, but as a human, like my sense of humor is how I cope with life. So like silliness and humor and stuff is I'm all about it in every way possible. So of course that lends itself to you being a comedy fan. And I've always been one, even like growing up and stuff. But as an adult now, they have this platform for podcasts, and I feel like that's like every single day. I have a schedule. Like I know which ones are going to be on which
Right.
days and whatever. But all these people are like traumatized, tortured people, or people that had it hard, or whatever. There's a reason why
They end up
they're
doing
in that industry,
Yeah.
and the ones that end up successful at it, it's like it's for a reason. And they're some of the most interesting, charismatic, tortured.
Storytellers.
Yes,
Like
that
that.
is what they are.
Mhm.
And I love it for that aspect of it as well. But there's so much like mental health conversation that's a part of that. And
Mhm.
like I learned so many random things about everything, like all types of genres. And like I appreciate how many of them are very open about their sexuality and experiences with relationships and stuff like that because that's like if they're making jokes and comedy, whatever, they're like making their money off of speaking about life.
A lot of them
So,
will go into their childhood trauma.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, like, those podcasts are a way for them to continue that career or whatever, but many of them end up talking about personal stories and stuff like that. And then you get roped in because it's like you feel like you know them, you know all this shit about them. And then because they're on like social media and stuff, you see into their everyday lives. So it's like you feel like they're your friends, truly.
Yeah. What if you had to like off the top of your head, what are like the like the tried and true ones that you feel like you really connect with and make sure you watch during the week?
The podcast right now that and like for a long time that I've literally put headphones in it while I'm asleep sometimes when I wake up at like 3 in the morning and my brain's buzzing is Slap City with Libby and Tina D-Ball. There's something so just them sitting around shooting the shit. I fucking love it. I know it's annoying for some people because they're weird improv, but it is the literal best thing in the world. And they have hundreds of episodes. They've
Yeah.
been doing it for years.
Yeah, I'll be cooking and that's when I like to watch them. And Joey will come into the kitchen and he'll be like, "What are
The
they doing?"
fuck? It's like, don't worry about it.
I'm like, "It's Slop City."
That's me too. It's like just the most random sounds. Like, what the fuck are you listening
Yeah.
to? I'm like, don't worry about it.
And
That
they're
one is like tried and true for
yeah.
me. Anything that Chelsea and Paige do,
I was
like
gonna
the viral
say
podcast,
that whole if you know Trailer Trash Tammy, that her persona.
Trailer Tales. Are you
Oh
fucking
my
kidding
god.
me?
I've
That
only
is
watched it
one
a couple times, but
you have to watch them. There's
okay.
only like 11. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, I was just impressed with Jeremiah Watkins. He's a comedian, and but he's editing that shit. He's producing that shit,
Yes. The
and
way that that
it's
is, oh
incredible.
my God,
He's got some
hands down some of
skills.
the best shit I've seen. And it's all improvisational.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of comedy people feel some type of way about improv, and that's fine. I respect everybody's opinion or whatever, but it's amazing. And when they break, it is so like comedy fucking gold. But that whole crew of people do all those vlogs and stuff too. So I'm watching a lot of their random content on YouTube as well. And then
And we've spoke about the authenticity. Like that is something that we with doing our podcast and just living our lives like realize the importance of staying true to yourself
that's why
and not doing it for money or not doing it
yes.
for clout or whatever.
Yes, and there's not a lot of smoke and mirrors with them. I mean, they do there's, like, certain things I'm sure that they don't talk about, and, like, Libby's boyfriend has a name that's not really his name, but now they all call him that, even his family calls him that. So they do what they need to do to, make certain things private as well.
Yeah.
But there's just such a realness to it. They're not hiding anything. There's no bullshit, and that's why I love them the most. But I'm a Bobby Lee fan all fucking day long, always have been.
Yes.
So Tiger Bellet really is like one of the pinnacle ones for me.
Yeah. That's like a OG for me. That was one of the
Yeah.
first ones I ever watched.
And
Tuned
I
into.
don't watch it as much now just because that dynamic that they have has changed a lot. But that's definitely one of the podcasts that got me into that realm of stuff. Anything that Andrew Santino does, I'll watch. Um, Theo. I love Theo. Always will. That's my baby.
We've seen him live.
Yeah. I've hugged that man multiple times. Yeah.
Keep
So,
following.
but yeah, it's
We watched or we watched Trash Tuesday. We both watched that one. That
yeah.
was Bobby Lee's ex-girlfriend and a couple comedian
Yeah.
ladies.
That one's good too. And then now just there's some like different people that are coming up like Ian Fidance and Jordan Jensen. I really like their podcast. Their podcast gets erratic sometimes though.
Well, you can just tell from watching that they are really like before all this, like they are best friends.
Yeah.
And and I think they've been best friends through some crazy ass shit together,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
But their
to
dynamic
see.
is so great. And
Yeah.
because their whole vibe is just like a basement. So it's just like a basement hang. It reminds me of Wayne's World.
Oh god,
That's what I like about
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
They're like fucking Wayne's World.
I love that.
Um, there's another one I was just about to say that's in the same vein as that. I don't know. I had a brain toot.
I love the H3 podcast.
Yeah.
And that's still I consider it comedy, but he doesn't the person, the host is not he grew up on YouTube, like that whole
Yeah.
Vape Nation shit and
Yeah.
everything. And it has evolved wildly over the years.
Yeah.
And I love it just because of the consistency of it
Mm.
and the live aspect of it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love a live like
That one's hard for
show.
me.
It is there's the
I
sound
love
bites.
I love them and their whole vibe and
Mhm.
obviously anything Teddy Fresh makes to me. I'm just like the aesthetic. I'm so here for it. So the little culture that they have around their stuff is badass. But the actual podcast itself, that one and Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and his wife, I
Mhm.
prefer to listen to hers than that one
Mhm.
just because they're like really long and I don't like a lot of internet content talk.
Mhm.
And I feel like but with both of those, there's so many inside jokes and so
Mhm.
many like sound bites.
It's all like ongoing narratives too.
Yes, which I get because
Yeah.
Slap City's the same way, the
Mhm.
viral podcast is the same
Mhm.
way, but it's like because I've been with them ground up and there's not
Mhm.
it's less I don't know, there's
I
something
know,
about
yeah.
it. Because there's almost like a morning radio show vibe, just like
Yeah.
Pinky and the Douche. It's like constant. I'm just like overstimulated.
Yeah, and I with specifically the H3 podcast, they say like Howard Stern show is a model for
Yes,
them.
and I did not enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like I can watch segments all day
Yeah,
long, but I
yeah.
cannot sit there and stomach a whole fucking Howard Stern show.
Oh,
No
yeah.
offense.
I don't know if I never got
I used to watch it. but I couldn't. I would just have to break it down into parts because it's a lot.
But yeah, there's so much to take away from them all, and I was texting you about the, one of the newest Tiger Belly episodes. Nikki Glazer is on it, and she just
Also, Kalila's pregnant. Just saying.
you hear it first.
I'm not gonna get murdered. I'm a whistleblower.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die in a mysterious death. If I show up dead next week,
It
y'all
was
know what
Boeing.
happened.
How many things can we connect? Jeffrey Epstein.
TikTok. Oh God.
We could keep going on.
Yeah, I could.
Oh, that happened last time.
No.
I said, "Don't you do it."
This thing needs some plumbing tape on it. Anyways,
But yeah, Nikki Glazer on Tiger Belly. She's doing some good crazy shit right now. I think in her professional life, she did the Tom Brady roast, and I think
Which-
everybody loved her on that.
did you watch it?
I watched her part.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched her part.
Did you watch the whole thing?
The whole her part?
No, the whole roast.
Oh no, I just
It's
watched her
bad.
part.
It's bad.
I just
She
wanted
did
to
great.
see. She did great.
No offense to anyone. That roast was doo doo.
He was doo doo. He's
Anyways.
doo doo. Anyways,
Yeah.
but and then she also I think right after that did the Howard Stern show. But she was talking about just different little tidbits of information. I was like, damn, this is hitting me hard. One of them was about spiral control. Like if you get in that moment, where
Sounds like a band name.
it does. What kind of band?
I was gonna say
Bluegrass.
technology means spiral control. It is fucking bluegrass. Yes.
I
Anyways.
love that.
They're just spun out in acid the entire time. That's why it's
That's
called
my type.
spiral control.
That's my type of bluegrass.
My God. Anyways, go back.
But
That's-
anytime you get caught up in you're spiraling mentally, and one of the things she does is to get out of her head. She thinks about or watches someone else that was maybe in a similar situation handle it
Yeah.
successfully.
Yeah.
And so she went back and watched on YouTube David Spade rocking it, doing really well on Howard Stern, and it helped her get through that. And I loved that. I feel like I don't know if how often I'm spiraling right now, but it was just great to know you can do something. You don't have to just take. I get breathing. I get it.
I didn't know what you're about to say.
I get it.
I understand why we breathe and all. I understand that the oxygen goes in and it goes in the blood and it keeps me alive and blah, blah, blah.
Whatever.
But if I'm spiraling, ain't no breathing gonna calm me down.
That's right. My brain has to attach itself to something
I don't know.
else.
I'm gonna tell you, some deep breathing really helps a bitch out lately for me.
I have to have some sort of mental piece to it.
Yeah.
Or then I become obsessive about the breathing part. Am I doing it right? Or do too much? But and then she was talking about how she had 2 different things coming out, one on Netflix, one on HBO.
Mm.
And Bobby was thinking that was kind of a
Bad.
yeah, are they not mad that they're having to compete? And she's like, no, they're helping each other because someone's gonna come watch me on Netflix. Well, they're gonna check out other things I've done.
Right.
Oh, look, I just released a stand-up special on
Yeah.
HBO. Come over here. So that's this idea of whenever you do create something or put something out in the universe, do a little one too. Have them connect because it's just gonna further shoot it out into the universe.
Yeah. Shoot your load twice.
Shoot your load.
Don't just do it once.
Bang bang.
Keep one in the chamber.
No, don't keep it in that chamber.
Well, put it in a
Release.
jar for later, and then once the next load comes out, then get that one out, and then pour them both at the same time. That's what she's saying.
Exactly what she's saying.
Keep your jizz.
Store it underneath your bed. Or in a cabinet. Your choice. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it. It might need to be refrigerated.
It depends on what you want it to be like and
True.
what you're storing it in.
Yeah. Deep freeze.
Anyway.
So I think that my other reason for bringing up the comedy podcast is I feel
because
like
we're making a comedy podcast.
because we're making a comedy podcast.
It's called Precious Angels.
Have you heard of it? If you haven't heard of it, now you hear of it.
But yeah.
Bye.
The way you did it, you're like, yeah, so that's what's called organic ending because our brains just folded over on itself. No, but seriously. To surmise what you're saying is that's what we're doing. And it's going to help people, hopefully. And then we're also going to do other stuff.
Yep.
The end. So stay tuned. Keep watching. Smash the likes in your
Thumbs up.
partners.
Oh, wait, that's likes.
Comment and subscribe. Link, share,
Join.
click, join.
You said share, right?
Tag, reshare,
Send.
press enter,
Attach.
fax it, whatever. Print it out.
That one got me.
Print the podcast frame by frame. Turn it into a flip book.
And then share. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Okay. I think we did it.
I think we did it. Yeah, we're done.
I love you.
I love you too.
Proud of you.
Proud of you. Done. Bye. That might be my favorite ending.
Oh my God, it wasn't recording the whole time. Stop. Stop. That's so funny. Stop. Are you for real? It didn't record. Oh, shit. That's fun. It happened. How did it happen? We knew it was going to happen and then it happened. What? That's really funny. Yes, it is. You gotta humble yourself to that. That's